the networks and these newspapers are really no different than a highly paid political operative. And it has to stop. It has to be illegal. It's influencing judges, and it's really changing law, and it just cannot be legal. I don't believe it's legal, and they do it in total coordination with each other. Now, as the chief law enforcement officer in our country, I will insist upon and demand full and complete accountability for the wrongs and abuses that have occurred.
That was part of President Trump's speech at the Department of Justice on Friday. It was full of grievances, attacks, and threats against the free press. Got a lot of response. And Mimi, you're writing about this and how on the heels of the elimination of the political corruption unit, Trump here in this speech, you say, has crossed a line.
Yeah, I mean, it pains me as a veteran of DOJ, and I know I'm not alone in this, to see something that I know we've all become a little bit numb to, of him calling for the political prosecution of his perceived enemies, because that's what it would be. In other words, calling for prosecution of people not based in predication and fact, which is what prosecutors and agents use when they open investigations, but based on his say-so. But we have never seen him do it in the halls of the Department of Justice. Only 2 presidents in the past 25 years have even gone to the Department of Justice, because there's respect for what was a separation between our halls of justice, our system of justice, and the political framework. Not perfect, but respect for it. The past 2 presidents who went there, it was purely ceremonial. Eric Holder's departure, the naming of the building by President Bush. And then you have Trump coming and doing a political rally, talking about things that have nothing to do with the Department of Justice, and not talking about upholding this lofty ideal of justice, which is what people are used to hearing in those halls, but talking about prosecuting his perceived political enemies and the press, et cetera. It does cross the line. I mean, this is where that would happen. And now he's doing it there, not just at a political rally. And you had his attorney general and his deputy attorney general before him talk not about Todd Blanche was a prosecutor for 8 years. He didn't talk about that. He talked about being Trump's defense attorney. That's not a qualification for his job. That's not appropriate in the Department of Justice. It just shows how completely gone, frankly, the Department of Justice is at this moment in time. I think we have lost it, to be honest.
Ezra, are Democrats and Republicans in parallel universes here, or is there a response or opportunity for Democrats to push back here?
Oh, no, I think they're in the same universe, whether they can push back. But we're in the same universe. Donald Trump is trying to take control of, break, and weaponize the federal government, starting with the security agencies and the DOJ. I think Republicans understand that perfectly well, and they're just supporting him in it. And I think Democrats understand it perfectly well, and they're opposing him in it, but they don't really know how to oppose him in it. They don't have a leverage. They don't want to do a shutdown. And so there isn't really an answer for Democrats aside from arguably the courts. But look, I thought the moment Thom Tillis brought Kash Patel's nomination through the Senate, that was a real Rubicon we crossed, right? Thom Tillis was supposed to be one of the sort of independent ones. Dan Bongino as deputy at FBI. What they've done at DOJ is, as pointed out, remarkable. So I think everybody sees this perfectly clearly. I think Trump has said it all out loud and repeatedly. And the question is what to do about it. And for now, Republicans are not opposing any of it. They're following orders.
So the cast that Ezra has laid out, Chris, what does that portend? Where's this leading?
I think the campaign goes on from Trump's end. The Democrats don't have a campaign. But the campaign of Trump is every day, and it's on television. And we get it in the morning, you get it in the evening. It's Trump. Every day there's an education program going on. And the education program tells them that Trump is right. It is continual. He never stops. That speech at Bobby Kennedy's Justice Department, the real Bobby Kennedy, And he does it every single day. And he's constantly drilling his troops. The MAGA troops are his weapon. It's not the senators. The senators don't like him. They have to do what the MAGA people want them to do in their home districts. And they call to their district office and they say, what are you hearing out there? The people are flaming mad at you because you're challenging Trump. Stop it. And the chief of staffs to these guys say, you're challenging Trump. The people are killing us. We've got to do something about it. Look at the social media. It is every single day he drills these people. And we're watching it as interesting television and sort of obviously obnoxious television. But they're always being trained. And people, I know family members like this. I know people that buy Trump. Exactly what he says, verbatim echo him every single day. And they don't even ask which states did he win that we didn't know about? Oh, did he really win Michigan or Wisconsin or Pennsylvania? No, they don't know, and they don't care. Right. He says, I won, stop the steal. And that's the way they're metallic that way. They behave like automatons.
Part of the story of the past 2 months, we've all been fixated, rightly so, on the destruction of the federal government. But the other enormous story here is about the inability of civil society to stand up to Donald Trump, including major American institutions and companies, billionaires, people who didn't agree with him. And I think Trump's remarks are direct threats to the media, which is a fourth estate, which is meant to hold him accountable, hold all politicians accountable, not just Donald Trump. And we should take this as such. These are threats to a media that, as Ezra said, is already cowed.
And I think his next target is going to be Amy Coney Barrett. He's going to go after her with hammer and tongue because he's trying to destroy her as the last chance of the courts opposing him.
Chris Matthews, thank you very much. And former district attorney for Westchester County, Mimi Rocah. Always good to have you. Thank you as well. Ezra Klein, stay with us. We have more to talk about. You're going to discuss your new book with staff writer at The Atlantic, Derek Thompson, on the other side of this break. Morning Joe will be right back.